ورسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أيها الكرام، إن شاء الله نحن بدأنا ببرنامج جديد وهو تدريب الشباب، ونعمل لهم إعلانات حتى يتمكنوا من إلقاء الخواطر والمواعظ باللغة العربية وباللغة الإنجليزية، ونكسر حاجز الخوف. تعلمون أيها الإخوة أن قضية إلقاء الخواطر هذه يأخذوا عليها دروس وسنوات يعني في الجامعات. احنا إن شاء الله نعلمهم خلال أشهر بسيطة، ويقفوا أمام الحاضرين ويتكلمون باللغة العربية واللغة الإنجليزية بكل شجاعة. وإن شاء الله الآن معنا الأخ إبراهيم العاني سيتكلم بعنوان قل لي من تصاحب، والخاطرة سيلقيها إن شاء الله باللغة الإنجليزية. فليتفضل الأخ إبراهيم مشكورا منا مأجورا من الله. إن شاء الله يا أخوة بعد الموعظة معنا فيديو تعليمي نشاهده مع بعض، وبعدها إن شاء الله معنا البيتزا والمشروب إن شاء الله، يعني البيبسي يعني.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على من لا نبي بعده محمد ابن عبد الله الصادق الأمين. ثم أما بعد، أردت اليوم أن أتكلم عن أهمية من يصاحب الشاب، لأنه موضوع له أشد الأهمية، وبصفتي كشاب أريد أن أتكلم عن هذا الموضوع مع الشباب بالأخص لكي يفهموا أهمية هذا الموضوع. وسوف أتكلم باللغة الإنجليزية لكي تصل الرسالة بشكل أوضح للشباب. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. In recent years, we've all seen how life is changing with a glimpse of an eye. And with these changes, you have kids trying to run to an adult lifestyle way before their childhood is up. You'll see a 12-year-old walking around with a vape or a cigarette, and you'll see a 14-year-old running around trying to make money, whether through it was a halal source of income or a haram source of income. And everyone's trying to rush to get to what they want, when in reality, they can't give you a solid answer on what they're looking for in life or what they actually want. Youngsters aren't living their childhood the right way, and with this comes a change to the people and the environment and the community as a whole. And with this intro said, it'll bring me to the topic I'll be speaking about today, which is the importance of who you call a friend and what are the dangers of having a bad friend as a Muslim in today's time. I want you to think for a second, who do you call a friend? And I'd like to mention a hadith that we'll get back to later that says, الرجل على دين خليله فلينظر أحدكم من يخالل. A man follows his friend's religion. You should be careful who you take for friends. So a good friend is a person in your life that pushes you to good acts or thoughts or pushes you to morally good things. A good friend is someone that pushes you to get closer to Allah, brings you to the masjid, helps you find a job, sets you up when you need help in school. We're not talking about someone that helps you cheat, but we all know these things. But what are the dangers of having a bad friend, and what are the characteristics of a bad friend? As I mentioned earlier today, everyone wants to rush and get to that adult lifestyle, but youngsters, and within this process, get themselves involved with things such as smoking, drinking, zina, staying away from the remembrance of Allah, wa ila akhirih. They're not up for these things yet. And we're going to start with a characteristic of a bad friend, but the general idea of a bad friend is simply someone that influences you to do bad. Whenever you're around this such person, all they talk about is worldly things. Always talking about how much money they make or how much money they want to make. Always talking about the most pointless things, such as a celebrity that doesn't even know they exist. And never does he bring up the remembrance of Allah in his conversations. And we want to stay away from these type of people because the danger that comes with these people is that they completely waste your time. Nothing that comes out of their mouth is beneficial for you, neither in this world or the hereafter. Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah rahimahullah says, إضاعة الوقت أشد من الموت لأن إضاعة الوقت تقطعك عن الله وعن الدار الآخرة والموت يقطعك عن الدنيا وأهلها. Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah says, wasting time is more severe than death, for wasting time cuts you off from Allah and abode of the hereafter, whereas death cuts you off from the dunya and its people. So what is a greater calamity? Getting cut off from Allah and securing a place for yourself in the akhirah, or getting cut off from this temporary life and its temporary people? So the obvious answer is cutting off from Allah and the abode of the akhirah. This is why we should we should not take these type of friends as friends, because all they do is waste our time. And now we'll get into the more serious characteristics of bad friends. So in recent years, many substances that were once illegal have been legalized, not only in the United States, but throughout the whole world in general. Drugs, weed, etc., you name it. You do not want to be around someone that has an addiction to these things. I know countless stories with very tragic endings that had to do with drugs. So I'll state a story that happened to someone that's actually from the area, and I want to say this story because I want you guys to know that we're not safe from this reality. So there was this guy a few years back. He met a few friends that got him addicted to smoking and drinking and all these bad habits. And it got to the point where he'd be on the streets at 3, 4 a.m. calling up his friends, let's do this, let's do that. And it got to the point where even his parents gave up on him, and they didn't want to give him money anymore and all that. And one night, his parents they were invited to a wedding, his parents and his family, and he decided not to go with them. He stayed home. And when his parents came back home, they found him dead due to overdosage of whatever drug he was taking. And this all can come. So the moral of the story here is to show you that the friends that you choose can end up having you in a very, very bad, fatal accident. And so this all comes back to what friends you choose. So now circle back to the hadith that I mentioned earlier, which was الرجل على دين خليله فلينظر أحدكم من يخالل. A man follows his friend's religion. You should be careful who you take for friends. So the people that you associate yourself with and the people that you're always around and hanging out with, they tell a story about you. They tell what type of person you are. And the hadith that I mentioned doesn't only talk about religion, but it has a deeper meaning. And you are who you surround yourself with. Whether you believe it or not, the people that you're always around have a huge impact on you. I'm sure everyone has heard the Arabic saying, "As-sahibu sahib," which translates to "a friend pulls you." So if you're always going to be around lazy people that do nothing but run their mouth and show no action, never trying to better themselves, never trying to pray, never trying to come to the masjid, slowly but surely you will become like these people. But on the other hand, if you surround yourself with righteous friends that are always pushing each other and to do better and competing for the akhirah, wallahi, you have won both the world and the akhirah. The companions of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam were always competing for the akhirah, always helping each other. You know, whenever a fellow companion needed help, they would always be helping each other. So why can't we be like them? And why don't we surround ourselves with such people and such friends? And so now, what if you love these bad friends that they fall under the characteristics of bad friends? What if you love them for the sake of Allah? Sometimes, or most times, you have to be the change. Advise them to do better. Stay away from the haram. It's okay to try a few times, but after a few tries, it's better for you to get away from such people, because you do not want to risk your akhirah as well. It's fine to hit them up from time to time. Hit them up, ask them, are you guys doing better? Advise them more, but it's better for you to stay away from them and don't spend your precious time with them. And I'd like to conclude with a few ayat from the Quran, from Surah Al-Furqan. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه ويقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا. A day will come where the oppressor will bite on his hand and say, I wish I had taken a path that the Rasul has taken. يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا. Woe to me, I wish I had taken so and so as a friend. لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا. He had taken me away from the remembrance of Allah after it had come to me, and the shaitan has always been a betrayal to mankind. اللهم اجمعنا مع الذين نحبهم لوجهك الكريم يوم العرض عليك ووفقني الله وإياكم إلى طاعته وجزاكم الله خير.
نصلي السنة، ثم بعد ذلك معنا فيديو تعليمي ونشاهد الفيديو لما حتى تجي البيتزا إن شاء الله. We have a movie until the pizza be ready إن شاء الله. تعال ساعدني.